We got some TVT here for all those Zerg players who I'm sure are very excited for this. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the North American Hope. Well, actually, I should just say the American Hope because Special is also in the bracket. Another fellow North American. It is Future, playing for Macherino Gaming. His opponent in the upper right-hand corner, a Korean player who a few years ago was up and coming and had some promising results, but kind of faded into the background for a while. Somebody I haven't seen much from in the last 2 or 3 years. It is Spear. And Spear is coming hot off the back end of a victory over Nice. Apparently some cheeky games in there, some one-base play out of Spear, so busting out the good strats to take down Nice, but still a very impressive result. It's worth noting that based on a Ligulac, Nice and Future are very, very similarly ranked. So Spear, I mean, I don't know how his TVT is. I don't know, maybe it was just the cheeky builds that worked against Nice. I'm not really sure, but if he can beat Nice, theoretically, he can beat Future. And that's exciting. That makes this a little bit more interesting. We do have a prediction going, too, if anybody wants to bet those precious, precious channel points on one of these Terran players. We also have Dave Testa and the Cranky Ducklings casting the KSL in English. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome, first of all. Thank you for rating it with Zergnal. This is the KSL, Korean StarCraft League. It's very non-Korean this week, since a lot of the normal Korean players who play in this every week are over in Jönköping in Sweden, playing in DreamHack. We still have some Korean representation in Spear. Sue is in the bracket. Those Reapers each just kill the SCV. That's actually hilarious. That is so funny. They both went over, killed the enemy SCV. And now we have the Reaper battle in the middle of the map. This is like wild. It's wild how in sync these guys are. Like, is one of them Joey Fatone over here? Like, what's going on? Yeah, so the KSL is fully funded by the Patreon. So if you guys are interested in supporting Korean StarCraft and, you know, helping these players have something to live on. You know, GSL took a big hit this year. Help to support us on the Patreon. And if you're like, dang, I'm broke. First of all, I get it. But we also have a Macherino. If you want to go enter some Macherino codes, feel free to do that. And I'm going to stop this spiel because this Cyclone is so low and Future's diving on it and he gets it. Oh, man, with the last shot of that Reaper before it dies. Oh, my God, this Hellion is going to kill this SCV, again delaying this command center. And in the meantime, Future finishes the CC, and he saves these 3 SCVs. Tries to block the jump-up spot, but there are 2 of them, so he doesn't quite get that. Waiting for these Marines to pop out. They pop out in a really nice spot, actually. Ooh, not nice enough. Let's take a look at these trades here. Oh, wow, actually, significantly better here for Spear. 300 resources better for Spear. I thought losing that Cyclone would have been worse, but I guess if you don't lose pretty much anything else, and you just trade SCVs, that ends up being pretty good for you. Marines are out now. Siege Tank is on the way. Reapers might be able to come in and sneakily get another hit, another kill here. Oh, there's the Cyclone. Oh, no! Oh, man, Future Cyclone. Unsuspecting. Gets hit by this Siege Tank. The Raven is out. Could go try to drop an auto turret, but there's a few Marines here as well to support. And Spear is just being as annoying as possible with this little push. The Reapers are still here. There's actually more coming across the map. Just rallied across. That Cyclone, not a danger. Whew. And that medevac gets very low, but it does get out of there again. The lack of Cyclone here for Spear is... or for Future, rather. I feel like he's really feeling that. If that was out on the map, These units could not have walked across nearly as easily. This medevac would be in trouble, but it gives Spear so much more longevity. And now that that auto turret's been used, this Raven's kind of just useless. The Reaper gonna pull the units completely in the wrong direction while Spear sieges up outside the natural. He's gonna split. It looks like he's gonna try to take down this tank. No, he decides not to dive in on it. Picks up in the medevac and gets out of there. But he is just being as annoying as he can. Decides to pack it up and leave. Doesn't want to lose anything. Oh! Won't lose anything more than he already has. But Spear's got a third CC halfway done. This aggression has allowed him to push out on the map, and like he's not afraid of anything Future has going on right now. This Raven's going to come in and try to get something done. Instead of going all the way around the map, he wants to get it done now. He's going to just drop the auto turret. Doesn't really get anything. Oh, and the Raven's going to die for it. And that is so painful for Future. Losing yet another crucial unit. Future does have +1 and Stim on the way, and I don't think Spear has really done anything with his barracks at all. Yeah, he doesn't have any upgrades going, or even started. Con though does have an upgrade going, and that upgrade is 34 months, a tier 2 subscription. Damn, that's an upgrade. Can you guys imagine being that well upgraded? It's like having 3-3. All right. Future's just going to try to dive in on top of this. He's splitting against the siege tanks. 2 of his tanks have been shut down. He's trying to focus fire Spears, but he's going to lose all of his Marines. Oh, no, and then the tanks are going to get taken down. It looks like Future's going to win this tank battle. So he does focus that one down. Spear's going to come in here. He's going to clean up one more tank. And this attack of Future seems to be completely cleaned up. It was a relatively even trade, though. A little bit of just back and forth there, honestly. Nothing too crazy on either side. I thought it was going to be worse for Future for a second, but he was able to kill enough tanks, get a couple of splash shots on the Marines. The game is still feeling pretty damn even. Stim being done for Future is a big boon, but he's feeling very behind because he's deciding to go for a big attack in the main, a huge doom drop. The Vikings completely whiff it. Stim is done. There's 2 tanks sieged up in the main. Stim is not going to finish for Spear. And suddenly Spear is in a really bad spot here. He does not have a Raven to shut down these tanks, I think, because the Raven died in that earlier engagement. Vikings do try to come in. SCV is getting pulled to fight here. Oh my god, but the splash damage on those SCVs, on the Marines, is doing so much damage. Spear's going to clean this up, but he loses 15 SCVs to do so. Now he's 20 army supply ahead, and I think he's got to try to use that. But look at, we have a very low tank. The Marines are super low. He's got to move across the map and try to get some counter damage because Future is going to take, well, I was going to say a big economic lead, but I guess he's at the very least going to catch up economically. Spear, despite having that third for so much longer, has not been mining more. That's kind of a big problem. One is nearly done for Spear. Looks like single eBay for Future, so actually the 1-1's going to line up pretty close for these 2 players. The lack of Stim for Spear, very painful. I think Future was in a much worse spot before, and I think with his superior economy that he has right now, he should be able to catch up in army supply very quickly. We're already seeing him start to close that gap, and in fact, he's up in supply now. Future going for another drop. This one not quite so doomy. Oh, he's going to run into 2 turrets. Eesh. That's a good call to back up there. I think a lot of players would have dove in anyways. Lost a lot. He's just going to try to be annoying out here. Again, the lack of a Raven here for either player means that shoving away tanks is just that much more difficult. And these little drops and little attacks can actually be much more effective without a Raven. Future hanging out on the outside of this sensor tower. But as soon as he goes in there, Spear is going to be able to move over, counteract it with his army. But this is really nice aggression from Future because Spear can't do anything on the other side of the map right now. Future is kind of just free to do what he wants. He's out on the map. If he can find a nice little spot to siege or drop some of these units that were around in these medevacs, he can try to dive in. but he doesn't have to, and it just keeps Spear on the back foot constantly. Spear worrying about where Future is, what he's going to attack with. Is he going to try to hit the main again? He's very worried about it. He's building more turrets, rebuilding turrets. Worried about where Future is. Future deciding to run through the center of the map. Spear is going to spot this, but Future is already here. Big stim from Future. I don't like this, though. So many siege tanks here for Spear, but Future's going to jump on top of them. Lifts up a lot of those Marines in the medevac to save them as well. And suddenly Spear is almost tankless. He does have 5 out, but where are they? They're coming over now. Future also on 5 out here on the front lines. Oof, diving forward with more Marines. Future gonna back up a little bit, maybe trying to just soft contain while he goes and takes a 4th. This 4th CC is done. Spear loading up the double medevac, almost running into this army, but dodging it a little bit. Actually, this might end up being really good for Spear if he's able to get these medevacs somewhere nice. But as I say that, he's going to be spotted by these SCVs. Is Future reacting? He is. He's pulling these units back. So important to get these reinforcements back home to help fight against this. It's not quite enough to fight, but it will be enough to push the Marines away. Spear getting a few SCVs. Oof. Go back, picking up. Future trying to move around. Force Spear again to unsiege and resiege, reposition his army. Double drop still looking for something. Ooh, he's going to try to catch this. Almost catches a medevac, but he will grab 2 siege tanks. He's going to close in on both sides. Spear with the excellent surround here. A bunch of Marines show up for Future, but the tanks are now sieged for Spear. Does Future have enough to actually bust through this? It looks like he might be able to. Spear is up on those upgrades, though, so these Marines, few though they might be, are actually better than Future's for the next 14 seconds. Big anti-timing there for Future taking that fight, but Spear jumping on top of that army, and I mean, Future is still ahead, but I think that gap is a little bit closed from where it was earlier. Spear resetting some of that army for Future, killing a lot of those siege tanks. Tank count, though, is 8-3. Spear really needs to get on that tank production. Future has not calmed down. He's on double factory, and he is just continuing to build siege tanks and keep that tank count up. We know that TVT is actually tank versus tank. Speaking of which, Spear getting his tanks jumped on, and he's got these Marines, but the upgrades are even now. And the Vikings, my friends, they are not going to be able to shoot down. Spear is going to tap out as he's running low on Marines. He's running low on tanks. And Future finally takes game 1, but a very, very hard-fought game 1 and some really nice play out of Spear. Spear had some sick moves in that one. Just that early pressure with the tank ended up working, I think, a lot better than either player, I think, would have guessed. Killing that Cyclone first really helped. The pincer move with the double medevac drop, getting on top of that army, the fact that Future didn't think about that in terms of positioning really hurt him there. Maybe didn't remember that there were 2 medevacs kind of south of the army. Yeah, ended up working out really nicely for Spear. But it wasn't enough to overcome the macro of Future. Oh, happy days, Chickenman came back. I have come back to you. I have returned. I took a bit of a hiatus and wasn't casting StarCraft for a while, but you know, I really missed it. I still miss it, actually. I still wish that I was casting more StarCraft. I'm trying to get some more going. Hopefully I can get some more like show matches or other little tournaments to cast. We do have a big tournament coming this summer I'm really excited about. It's going to be by far the biggest tournament I've ever been involved with putting on. Minimum 3K prize pool. We're hoping to be at 5K, and I think we will be able to get there for the KSL Summer Slam. Exclamation mark Summer Slam if you want to see more. But let's hop into game number 2 in the meantime. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Dragon Scales. Up 1-0 in this TVT. It is Future. The future of Terran. Presenting Maturino Esports. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner in the red. It's Spear. How much can Dave and Sal carry without you? Wow, a casual Dave, Testa, and... Or is that Steadfast? Casual Dave and Sal Enjoyer. Honestly, either way. I don't know why you would admit that. Got to keep some things to yourself, you know? We usually have Steadfast casting the KSL, but I think he's probably a bit tired from just hard carrying some DreamHack broadcasts. I was going to try to go for a smooth transition into this, but I really have nothing to say. This is Proxy 2Rex Reaper. This is the good stuff. This is the juice. I feel like I haven't seen this in a while. Spear pulling out the strats from the past to try to take down Future. Future is, of course, going for the factory before CC. The 2Rex Reaper was very, very strong against just the, Reaper expand openings. Future not scouting at all. Sending the Reaper out this way, though. Is he going to be able to spot this? Not quite. Oh, man, and Spear already has a Reaper out. He's just holding on to it. It looks like Future's Reaper is not heading across the map, though. He is checking for these proxies, but he's not going to spot it. And the Reapers are jumping into the main base already. This factory going to be delayed. SCV's got to get back on top of it. Oh, my God, it's like half a second from finishing. There it goes. SCV's being pulled to fight. Second Reaper is about to pop for Future, so Spear's going to have to get out of here until that third Reaper shows up. Speak of the devil, and he shall arrive. And that third Reaper is, in this case, the devil. 6 SCVs going down already. Still one Reaper left alive for Future, but pulling more boys to try to fight here, and that is very painful. Hellion is out. That's going to help him quite a bit. Reaper's going to dive around the front side. SCV down here. A little bit exposed, a little bit on its own. And the CC now not being built. Factory finishing up back at home for Spear. He's going to drop his own command center. And now he's just trying to continue to delay this base, take good trades if he can. But with 2 Hellions out, and those Reapers lining up a little bit, some good damage here. Man, 8 SCVs have gone down. That's so, so painful. Spear going to dive up into the base, and this really takes advantage of the fact that the Hellions cannot jump up cliffs. There are 3 Hellions in the main, and the 2 Reapers on the low ground trying to throw some grenades down here. Just throw the grenades and run away, and you know what? That's worked really well for Future. And despite being down a couple of workers, his CC will finish first. He's continuing to build SCVs. By the time they have their naturals up and running, they will be at about the same worker count. I actually think this was a good defense for Future. He should be pretty happy with this. Obviously, losing 8 SCVs is always painful, but look at how many Hellions he has out now. I just had a magnet fall off my fridge and it kind of scared me. All right. I don't understand why magnets just fall off randomly for no reason. How does that happen? There are 4 Hellions out. That's where I was trying to go with that before the magnets scared me. How do they work, guys? Anybody in chat explain to me how magnets work, please? Spear chilling on 5 Reapers, has the Cyclone out. Barracks is blocking some mining here. Look at this guy. Look at this Chad of a barracks. Just stopping mining from happening. Medevac is out. Ooh, there's a siege tank, though. Future going to have to back on out of here. Great lift up to break the lock-on from that Cyclone, and the SCV's in a little bit of trouble. Another excellent lift up here to keep these Hellions alive just that much longer. Oh, and the tank can't quite reach back here. Grenades going on. The lock-on to the Medevac that time broken by the Medevac just pulling away. Future keeping these units alive for so long. But he's just going to lift a few of them up, most of them up, and run away. Drops the Reaper grenade just to say, screw you, before that Reaper dies. 6 SCVs going down, and suddenly Future is ahead workers in a game where he lost 8 SCVs to the opening of Spear. Future's got to be feeling pretty good about that. He's going to pull away. His early game unit's really coming in clutch for him. Looks like he is going to try to drop them behind the natural. Spear maybe was thinking about it, but missed the medevac going across. And suddenly there's 3 Hellions and 2 Reapers in the main base. I didn't know this much could fit into a medevac. A couple SCVs going down. Oh, man, 4 now. Oh, he's going to get even more. 5, 6, 7. Picks up and even gets a couple of these units out of here. He's going to try to drop in the main base, but there is a tank who's just going to have to back up. At this point, though, this is all just gravy for Future, who's got a 3rd CC about to finish back at home. He's got his own tanks. He's got a Raven. He's got Marines. He's just chilling. Oh, look, he's got a Raven following a Raven. There's no Marines here, guys. There's nothing that shoots up. Future's Raven just chilling, just hanging out. It looks like Spear wants to go for an attack. Spear does have a 3rd CC as well, so both players even in that regard, but Spear is just down so many workers. And his army's actually smaller after all is said and done. He is, however, up in the tank count. It's 2 Ravens to 2, which does feel very, very dangerous. Future's actually going out on the map to put some pressure on. I think he realizes Spear is here. Ooh, but he doesn't. Oh, he gets completely caught off guard by these tanks. He's going to drop an auto turret, though. Shuts down one of the tanks. This ends up being really bad for Future. He is losing everything here. Spear going to try to jump on top of the tank. He gets it. Future just trying to trade as well as he can before he leaves, but the auto turret going to help shove him away. The lock onto the tank broken by the medevac pickup. Again, Future has broken like 6 lock-ons at this point by lifting up into the medevac. But that attack did not go well for Future. Spear destroyed more resources. He killed tanks. He killed what? 1 tank. He killed a Raven. Very nice damage there. Actually killed 2 tanks. Look at that. 1 siege, 1 unsiege. I didn't know it split like that. That being said, all that said and done, Future's had 17 workers. And that should allow him to rebuild this army very quickly, very easily. The big thing here is Spear is going for mech. That's why we're not seeing any Marines joined up with these guys. He's using those Reapers to help out in the DPS and the buffering early on. But he is going full on mech. 3 factories at the moment. And I would guess Future has realized this by now. Not seeing any Marines is always a little bit suspicious. Oh my god, these Reapers. Spear just trying his best to micro. Did that Reaper get away? That's not allowed. How did that Reaper squeeze out of that huddle? The SCVs were like completely surrounding him. And he goes and gets another SCV kill, finishing off that low hit point one. Get out of here. Finally it goes down. Spear getting way more done with those last 2 Reapers than he would have expected. Well, yeah, full-on mech and TVT. It's fun to see, I gotta be honest. I haven't seen it do particularly well lately. There are a few players who have historically been very good with mech, but even those guys don't really bust it out in TVT that often these days. The core of the army is, no matter what style you play, it's pretty much always tanks and Vikings. And Spear is just going for those units right now. He's not building anything else. Tanks and Vikings. A couple of Hellions mixed in. So Future's always going to be down in the tank count. He's never, maybe I won't say never, unlikely to catch up in the Viking count for a long time. So he's going to focus on building Marines. He's going to get some Marauders out. His upgrades will hit earlier. He's going to have the more mobile force. 5 more SCVs going down. What even happened? Ah, an auto turret. I see. Actually, wait. No, Future killed the Raven. So was it a Cyclone? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on, but Future's going for a push, and Spear is getting caught completely off guard by this. Looks like he's going to lose this gas and lose a few SCVs. 6 going down, actually. Very painful. 8 now. Spear's going to try to jump on top of this. Future unsieging to get these 2 front tanks out of there. But he's still going to hold this position. It's only 3 sieged up tanks right now. Spear has so many siege tanks here. And And Future decides to back on up. He's got a 4th base fully established. He's at 77 SCVs. And this is one of those things that Mech's a much stronger army, but it can be kind of worn thin if you try to take too many bases. It becomes very difficult to support them all with these tanks sieged up. The spread becomes a little too thin, and that lack of mobility can become very apparent. Future, God, he is up so much supply right now. He's 60 supply up, and this is a great way to try to deal with Mech as well, is to just make so much stuff and take so many bases that your opponent can't do anything about it. And that's kind of what Future is doing right now. I think he's got to start trying to trade. He is fully maxed out. 2-2 is getting very close to being finished, so he might wait for that. Spear going for the full turret ring here with all the Vikings ready for a doom drop, because Future did show that he's more than willing to do that. Nice kill on the sensor tower and on this turret here. Any little chip damage Future can do is always very nice. He needs to start doing something about this army, because if Spear gets to a fully maxed out army of like pure tank Viking Raven, Future will not be able to take a fight. There's just no chance. You just don't win bio against Mech if the Mech is maxed out. You have to stretch it thin, and we're starting to see that a little bit here. Spear has a few tanks here, but this army, I'm pretty sure, could kill these 5 tanks since they're all on their own, especially if Future hits from multiple angles, which is exactly what he's doing. He's going to send his whole army down here, shutting down tanks. Auto turrets will not be enough. There are so many Marines and Marauders here, and as Spear's reinforcements show up, the bio's going to jump on top of them. It's very clumped up, though, but I don't think it's going to matter. Spear's tanks were just too spread out, and Future is going to clear all of this out, resetting both armies, and that's so much better for Future. Spear knows it. He killed a lot of bio. That bio is just going to rebuild twice as fast as the Mech. Future's going to be able to hit again too soon. Spear taps out. Future takes the 2-0 victory in that TVT. But I got to say, Spear, I think, really made some good moves, and I'm really excited to see him back playing. Able to take down Nice and make the games against Future super duper close. I hope we get more Spear. I hope he continues playing, because he was a fun player to watch a few years ago when he came back onto the scene, or when I noticed him on the scene.